This community is not just corporate.
Hey everybody, it's me, Coach Rebecca, and today I'm going to give you some simple mindset hacks. It's really intimidating trying to start a new habit. And I think a lot of people are shortchanging their confidence because they are like, I don't have any time to do anything else. So if you are one of those people who's either a sport mom or an athlete, it's really easy to think, I do not have time for anything else. I am up early, doing homework, doing school, getting to practice, practicing, trying to get homework done, trying to clean myself, and then sleep. And that's literally all I have. And I am going to argue with you that anybody can improve their happiness, their confidence, and their success in like 5 to 10 minutes a day. Okay. And I'm going to tell you my personal way of doing that because I am also a mom, a business owner, and a crazy busy human. And I do this every single day. And it is changing my life. So I want to give you guys some tips here of things that you can do to make your life better, to make your sport better, parents to be a better sport parent because of the way that your mind works. So many applications here. So, let me know if you're one of those people who's like, no, I can't do mental training because that's hours of journaling. It's meditation, it's therapy, it's all this stuff and it's so time consuming. That is literally the number one reason that people are like, no, we can't sign up for Perform Happy right now because we're too busy. And I'm like, okay, that is the myth that is keeping you stuck because every single thing that we do is built for the busy athlete. And there's reasons why, and it's all research based. So just a little bit of background on how this works. There's something called neuroplasticity, which means that your brain is constantly wiring and rewiring and changing every time that you have an experience. I was just talking to a girl today who was an incredible, phenomenal cheerleader, really ahead of her game, 12 years old, doing fulls at nationals. And she got embarrassed one day and then couldn't do it for 4 months. She could not do a full anymore. Her brain wouldn't let her because she got embarrassed. And so that one experience of falling made it so that her brain shut down around this skill. Now, the good news is it goes the other way too. So she's been working in our program for a couple weeks and she's like, my gosh, I'm back on the rod floor. And just today she was like, I did it again on the actual floor. And it's so cool how little tiny adjustments to the way you think can change your entire success, like your entire sport really. So there's this study from Harvard, a 2010 study that showed that 8 weeks of daily mindfulness practice increased gray matter in the brain's learning and emotional regulation centers. What the heck does that mean? So that means that when you practice being present, being in the moment, this can happen while you are running laps during warm-up. If you are purposely practicing being present, the part of your brain that is insulating your fear center gets thicker. It's almost like you get like a cozy blanket on that emotional part of you that freaks out under pressure. So imagine if you could just practice being present. You're already doing 24 hours of life anyway. What if you spend some of that time being in the moment so that you can change your brain so that you don't have big emotional outbursts and you actually don't feel as afraid? It's so cool. Okay, then there's another study, a UC Davis study about how gratitude rewires the brain. So this study, people who wrote down what they were grateful for each day felt 25% happier in just 10 weeks. So you're just writing down what you're grateful for, which can take you 2 minutes. And I'm going to tell you about my practice in a bit here. And then you can be 25% happier in 10 weeks. So we have a whole series of 3 months of daily challenges in Perform Happy, my mental training program. And one of those challenges is the happiness challenge. And what we do in there is these tiny little activities, including being present, being grateful, sending good thoughts out. You're like, how the heck is that going to help me perform better? But I'm telling you, when you are happy, you perform better. Period. There's studies for that too. Okay, but the last study I'm going to mention is about affirmation. So the Journal of Social, Cognitive, and Affective Neuroscience in 2016 showed that self-affirmation activates the brain's reward system and helps reframe threats as challenges. So when you say positive things to yourself, it gives you that little dopamine hit. Ooh, that felt good. And it helps you reframe. And that is the difference between a champion and a mediocre athlete, is somebody who goes, I love a challenge. And it's all about how you talk to yourself. Okay, so here's my routine. You do not have to do this for yours, but I would encourage you to start thinking about what are a couple tiny little actions that you can do each day that will change your brain and make you a more confident human and therefore a more confident athlete. Okay, so I start my day every morning with gratitude. I have my little journal next to my bed. Now, this is all about habits, you guys. You have to set it up so it's easy. So I have my journal next to my bed. I open it up and I write down, I usually do 10, but I'm going to give you permission to do 5 because literally 2 is better than nothing. And I notice that I sit there and I'm like, oh my gosh, why can I not come up with 10 things? I like to be specific too. Like I like to write down the chirping of the birds on a spring morning with the window open, because what that does is it like my brain is really in that moment of gratitude. Like I'm so present, being like, wow, the little breeze that's coming through my window in the morning is so incredible. And I think about, how it feels to snuggle my youngest daughter and how she's just like so soft and cuddly. So I write down some specific things. I go for 10, do 5 if that's like just something to get started. That's the first thing I do. Takes me 2 minutes, maybe 5, if I'm like really getting into it and being poetic. Second thing, I do mindful breathing. So like I said, you do not have to do this while still sitting in your bed. You can do this while you are warming up. You can do this at the beginning of any event that you're training. Spend 5 minutes being present and focusing on one thing. So I choose to just feel my breath. And it is hard. My mind wants to be like, what if? Like, oh gosh, I got to get to it. I hit snooze, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm doing is noticing that and feeling my breath. Okay. And then 5 minutes, sometimes it feels like 25 hours to sit there for 5 minutes and just be like, okay, every time my mind wanders, I focus on my breath. And what this does is it's like I wake up with this snow globe in my mind and I shake it. And then by the end, it settles and I go into my day feeling present. Little did I know this whole time, my brain is actually insulating me against emotional outbursts by spending 5 minutes doing this. So if you wanted to focus on something different, I love a mindful warm up and jogging, because you can just be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And if you do that for 5 minutes, you are changing your brain. Okay, then my final thing that I do in the morning is I play affirmations. So I recorded something on my voice memo. Anybody can do this. I went into ChatGPT and I put in a couple of negative thoughts I was noticing. And I was like, ChatGPT, give me 15 positive affirmations that will rewire this negative thought out of my brain. Okay, I didn't even have to write the affirmations. And then it wrote it. I read it into my voice memos and I play that to myself while I'm getting ready in the morning. So I crank it up while I'm using my electric toothbrush because it's loud, but I listen and it takes 4 minutes. So that's my toothbrush and putting my contacts in. And I'm already doing those things, but instead I'm looking at myself in the mirror and hearing these positive affirmations coming at me. I do this every morning and it's so easy because I already would be like, should I listen to music? Should I put on the news? I'm like, I'm going to play my affirmations and I will listen to them while I get ready. Okay, so that's my morning routine. That is 6 minutes. I think 6 minutes. And then we've got my evening, which is my favorite thing, you guys. I love it, love it, love it. So I wrote out my vision for what I want my life to be like. And I would encourage any of you to write out your vision of where you want to be in your sport in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years, whatever makes sense for you. Just start writing it out. And so it starts with, I wake up peacefully, do my morning routine, meet my sweet family for a beautiful breakfast. And then I go through this entire perfect day. And I read through that at night. That's another thing you could record and listen to, but I come to bed later than my husband, so I wouldn't want to wake him up with my voice blasting in his ear. So I read it and then I read my affirmations. So that's a different set of affirmations. Okay. So that takes me maybe 3 minutes. And then I get to read my fun book. So the way I set this up is I put my journal on top of my fun book, my romantasy that I love so much. And then when I go to look at my nightstand and go, I want to read that, I get my journal, I read those first, and then I read my book. So a total of 10 minutes I'm spending between morning and night And I am a happier, more peaceful, more confident human, period. It's 100% true. I've been doing this since I think September. So we're looking at 9 months, and I would not do it at this point. It's like so easy. So here's what I want more importantly than it being complicated. And now you might be overwhelmed by the sheer amount of things I do. Just be consistent. So if it is just you write one affirmation on a sticky and you put it on your mirror in your bathroom and you read it while you brush your teeth, that is a start and you are changing your brain. Confidence is not something that you're necessarily born with. It's like a muscle, and you got to do your daily reps. So the more that you can set yourself up for success, like I know I want to get to that book, so I'm going to put my journal on top and I'm going to do that first. That's what's going to set you up. So if you are struggling with confidence or fear or just want a little structure to your mental training, I would encourage you to check out Perform Happy. That's my online mental training program. You can check that out at performhappy.com. And we do 5-minute challenges every day. And so that gives you the structure to know exactly what to do with those 5 minutes, 5 to 10. And, most people do it while they're in the car on the way to practice. We figure out how to make it fit into a time that's already happening rather than creating new tasks for you to do. So shoot me a DM or send me an email if you have any questions. My email is rebecca@performhappy.com. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you again soon. Bye.